Hey, it's Deepak and I'm back in Hate Plus. And we left off with me. I think I extracted a bunch of stuff. Yeah. Okay. Respectful of family. Consort. Times 2. Pyeon Misun. What's the little sister? I've tried appealing directly to Eun-a, but I've been... Who's ex-counselor? Oh, it's a woman. But I've been rudely ignored. I'm hoping as her consort you'll be at least able to see reason. I'm sure you already know, but I lost my position as counselor of education because of the absurd meritocracy exam. Do you have any idea how much of a humiliation that is for our family? Not even the counselor of education, the one who's supposed to be responsible for the exams himself, could get top marks. We could have even lost our noble status. Did she even think of that? It's one thing to show disrespect for family and not care about the loss of face, but what the hell is even the point of having an O as the university president if she's not going to do anything to safeguard our family status? She promised me that voting for meritocracy wouldn't have any impact because she could influence the exams, yet here we are. I don't know what to make of this. You need to convince her to make this right. As for the road she's going down right now, what if next time it's not even a distant O that gets chosen as counselor of education? She could lose her job, and that would be disastrous for both of you. I'm sure there's some sort of irregularity in the exam results. If she can't be convinced to put this right, I implore you. You have to find evidence that the exam results were mishandled for your own sake. Do you really want the woman his attitude, though. Do you really want the woman you're counting on to be so reckless about her family? Do you really think you'll be able to keep your comfortable lifestyle if our family continues to decline? I'm counting on you to do the right thing. Oh Jung-woo, former counselor of education. Dear Mr. O, you got my name wrong. I'm sure she did what she thought was right and honest. And I don't think telling someone to go behind her big sister's back is very respectful of family. Well, okay, I can respect that. Yeah, she's really loyal to her sister. Sorry. Misun. You got my name wrong. What did he say her name was? And he doesn't have a picture, right? Okay. Pyeon. Burned evidence, burned feelings. Wait, writing on paper? I thought that was illegal. Yeah. What? Why is that illegal? Oh, I guess because it's limited. Dear big sister, I miss you. Don't worry. I did get your letter, and I did what you told me. I found those papers with the counselor candidates on them. It was kind of hard to find. Those Chinese characters that you wrote didn't really look the same as the handwriting. Anyway, I set fire to them just like you asked. Even with all the Chinese I can't understand, I think I figured out what they were about. And I get why you didn't want those records in the computer. I was really shocked to see how easily paper burned though. For all that, it's so expensive and forbidden. It's so fragile. Anyway, I got all that done, so don't you worry, big sister. But I really wish you were here to do it yourself just because, well, I miss you. I know. You've been spending time with Ryu lately because it's important to you. If you like him, and like doing all this work, then I'm glad for you. I just wish you were here. When I got out the candles to destroy the evidence, it just made me think of when we used to have dinners together by candlelight, and how perfect things were then. Oh, that's really sad. I don't want to be demanding or anything. You do what's important, and I'll help you out however I can. And that's good enough for me. I'm thankful you're around at all. I just worry a bit about you because you used to get really fired up all the time about sociology stuff. But now, well, you don't. And I'm off burning evidence that you rigged the counselor's exams to pick people that Ryu likes. Since when did you care so much about politics? She rigged the council. Queen Eun-a, she really did do that herself. That's... Well, since there's no way I can send this letter to you now anyway, Might as well keep going. Sorry about the fight we had last week. You were right, I was really just being hysterical and the cramps weren't helping any. But we've lived together for how many years now? Feelings always run a little bit high when it's that time of month for both of us. What time of month does she mean by that one? Don't worry about it, Eun-a. Really? Aren't you like 16? Or you were 16 when you died? Right? Or was she older? She might have been older. I've completely lost. Okay. I'm sorry for starting all those arguments. There's no excuse for getting into those pointless, dumb fights with you. It was just a lot of feelings of insecurity adding to the usual bitchiness. I really worry about you, and I don't mean to alienate you like that. Hey, do you remember when I got dressed up and showed up at your office to say hi at the start of last month, and you shooed me up because you were worried I might have a, whatever the heck you said, whatever influence on Ryu when he came to visit? That really hurt. I ended up locking myself in the bathroom to hide from the maid while I cried, and I just wanted to do something nice for you. And then when you got home and got into bed super late again, you acted like nothing happened. I really wanted to say something. I still do. It's things like that that make me feel insecure. What am I to you? You used to be so protective of me and gentle. You'd always tell me how you were feeling. What changed? Are you at least confiding in Ryu? No, of course not. I know, like you said, no man is going to find emotional insecurity attractive. And all that stuff about how it'll lower your sexual value in his eyes. So I guess you're keeping it all pent in now and keeping it to yourself. I wish you wouldn't do that. You can still confide in me. I can still be here for you, big sister, if you just let me. I'm okay with a little bit of crying, that's normal. I'm a little bit too sensitive at times, but I can deal with that. But I can't stand to see you get so distant. You need someone to talk to you. You can't just keep everything to yourself. That's not healthy. Please, take care of yourself. Just don't hide in this obsession of yours. Please, I'm begging you, big sister. I don't even know what. Just be my life, please. I guess there's no point to writing any longer. I can't really send any of this to you anyway. It'll just make things worse. Here's my real letter then, I guess, and I'll copy into a new file to send to you and keep this one to myself. Oh no. But why didn't she actually tell Eun-a about these feelings? Dear big sister, I lit the candles just like you asked me to. Don't worry, it's all dealt with. Hope I see you soon. Love, Misun. This poor woman needs help, and she sure didn't get it from Eun-a. Okay. Queen Consort. That way. Eun-a, you are a noble consort. I know you know exactly what she means. Dear little sister Misun, sorry about not coming home at all last night. I spent the night with Ryu. It wasn't in that way, though. It's just that we stayed up so late talking. I think that it's the most time we've ever spent together on reflection. Lately, I've felt a mixture of anxious and tired. It's not as though I'm not optimistic. I know what the future has in store, and I know everything will work out in the end. I've dealt with that professor that was giving me hell, and things are back properly on track. But the initial excitement of finding Ryu is worn off, and at the same time, the end is nowhere in sight. Oh. I wish things weren't so damn complicated. I can't sleep with him now despite yearning for it. After all, men are wired to desire things differently than we are, and would probably throw me away soon after. And as much as I want to get laid, it's even more important that I ensure my status in the future, by which I of course mean marrying him. Of course, divorce still exists, so if I want to be truly safe, I have to have his kid. I think we're still a long ways off from being able to politically justify banning divorce, although it's naturally an end goal. However, I can't marry him now because it would draw too much attention, so I'm stuck as his secret, his private girl. And that makes me feel, well, it doesn't matter how I feel, really. It's worth it in the end. We talked about it, at least. I don't know what to make of this. Yeah. That's all that happened. No work, no conspiring, no grand political machinations that being designed or brought into practice. Just a brief glimpse of what the future could have in store if we could bring it to life. I sat on his lap and he helped me and stroked my hair. And for a brief moment I felt as though I could actually let go. That none of the other bullshit on the ship, that none of my other responsibilities, that nothing at all I needed to concern myself with existed. Poor woman, forced into a role she couldn't handle. Save for him. In that moment, my mind raced thinking about that. Thinking about how perfect it would be if that was our future, rather if that was the ship's future. Wishing in an extraordinary extent that his perfection could not only be saved forever, but shared. "What are you thinking about?" he asked. Just you," I said, touching his chest and smiling up at him. "I love you. I don't ever want to leave your side." "That's awfully precious," he said. "You can be really sweet at times for such a scheming mastermind." Scheming mastermind, but Emperor Ryu approved of it. I don't want to be that, though," I said with a pout, but meaning it utterly sincerely. "I just want to be yours." "Poor girl," he said, and then kissed me repeatedly until it got to the point where it was getting intense, and his hands were starting to run places. I wanted him badly, little sister, let me tell you. But I'm only telling you this so that you know how hard it was to stop him, and ensure it didn't go any further. "I can't, not before," I trailed off, letting him fill in the blank. "Marriage. It wouldn't be right, I'm just not some modern whore." He murmured in agreement, seeming pleased enough, but then to my surprise I finally got the best response I could have hoped for. I don't remember his exact words, being far too engrossed in the moment, but he promised he would marry me when it was possible. "If I'm going to lead this ship back to traditional ways, I'll have to set an example, won't I?" he said. Of course, anyone who really studied history properly would know that even the greatest kings and emperors had as many consorts as they wished. But I didn't say anything of that, nor did it even come to mind at the time. Nor do I still think it's important now, particularly. "I sure know that part." "You mean I get to be your queen?" I asked, with excitement in my voice, and it honestly wasn't acting, or me picking words carefully, or any other form of insincerity. "Well, it can't be now. It would seem suspicious, and I don't have enough power for it to not matter." "You don't have to understand," he said. And of course I did, seeing me as I was the one who had suggested that to him in the first place, but you will, I promise. Promise isn't enough to ensure my safety. I cannot give in to what I always wanted from him those years ago. I can't run in the risk of him throwing me away if he no longer thinks of me as pure and virgin, and if our plans for the future do not work out, I'll need to be his queen to ensure my status. She's so manipulative, I can't believe it. This is her? I'm glad you think so too. When I put all that into words, it's such a cold way of thinking of things, though. In that moment, all I was thinking about was him. I don't want the weight of running a university on my shoulders. I don't want to have to work to save the ship from immorality and unsustainability of modern society. I don't want to have to dedicate myself to a vicious world of politics and professionalism. All I wanted to do is spend my nights dedicating myself just to that one man. I don't want to have to worry about anything save for being a good woman. I don't want to have to worry about scrutiny from suspicious meddlers or anyone else's opinion of me save for his. I don't want to have to assure you both you as well as myself, that the future is worth being optimistic about. I just want to be there. I had a glimpse of that future last night. He promised me that he would make me more than just his lover, better than a co-conspirator. He actually committed to making me his queen, little sister. I want to be that future. I want that future to be now. Then everything will be perfect forever. I'll be the consort of the man who's ensured that the Magonghwa's decline will be rectified, And my reward will be a life full of nights as perfect as the last, instead of them being so frustratingly rare. Well, she got everything she wanted in the end. Sorry I didn't come home last night. I'm sure you understand. With love, big sister, Eun-a. Records office. Pyeongnaemon. That's what's her face's wife or husband. The researcher's husband, right? I spoke like that to Emperor Taisho? We all know what's on the agenda. I trust we can get through this in a civilized fashion. One hopes. I don't like your tone, Counselor. Not you, the Counselor of Captaincy. Please don't derail us, Counselor Mute. Your objections to the Unity Act have been thoroughly stated and noted. Your input is appreciated. Your input is appreciated me, okay? You're not gonna shut me up. This is insane. This is, like, actually insane. I don't even know what it is why it's being brought up again. Did you miss the memo? I'm security vetoing it. It's not... How the hell do you justify that? There's nothing to do with the ship's security. I don't really get it, but... are you kidding? Like, seriously? You honestly haven't considered the idea that removing all restrictions as to who can be the president has a massively destabilizing consequences? It really seems like she believes strongly about this. I know, over Ryu himself. Please read the record, Counselor. You'll find that an amendment has been added to address the security's concerns. The Act very specifically says that it only removes all non-criminal, non-age-related restrictions. There aren't any disabling consequences. That doesn't address my concerns at all. I will not budge on this matter, okay? The security veto stands, and I can't believe I actually have to argue why separation of powers is important. What grounds do you even have to argue that the security veto would apply here? I can't believe I defend the principles of that awful society like this. Really, the possibilities for abuse are endless. It goes against every principle of the current system of the government was founded on. And that's reason not to do something. Counselor Mute, you would surely not suggest that those principles are unassailable. How will we ever improve our society if we defend bad ideas simply for the sake of conservatism? Okay, well, when you're fantasizing about improving our society, it's my job to put my foot down on things that can jeopardize the ship's safety. If the act is amended, would you even consider the possibility of rescinding your veto? No. Then please let the record be updated to include the signed document from President Park overriding the security veto. Not this time, Mute. Of course he did. That's cause for alarm in and of itself. Don't you see? He wants the ability to run for a second term. If we actually let him stay in the public spotlight for that long, that gets rid of our strongest control against democracy movements. Like, if you think that they were getting bad before, can you imagine what they'd be like 10 years after a single unified charismatic leader with the government platform? 15, 20? Do you really think that would be okay? Geez, if she got in her way, things would be so different. Well, that would be... Except we've completely knocked the wind out of the movement's sails. Well, maybe he is thinking that. It's merely wishful thinking. That would be what? Nothing. Great, so now you're just offloading the problem onto me in the future. It's lost momentum now, but what about like a century from now? Our actions have serious consequences. It doesn't look like you're convincing anyone. Note, a long pause follows. Okay, I'm willing to compromise. I know what I've lost. I'll support the act. Just give me an amendment that ensures the president can't have 2 terms, okay? Hell, even specify that it only applies to non-noble presidents. Just give me something here. I'd be willing to set. I don't think that's necessary. You'll second the motion, Counselor Joe? Sorry, strike my remark from the record. What? How's that even controversial? I don't see any reason for further debate on the matter. Come on, there's no reason not to. All I want is to ensure someone like President Park doesn't run again. Will anyone second the amendment? I'll move to vote on the act as it stands. Nobody. Seconded. Oh, I see. Motion passes. How does the council vote? The Councilor of Culture is in favor. The Councilor of Engineering Science is in favor. In favor, also in favor. The Councilor of Competency is in favor. Same. The Councilor of Agriculture is in favor. The Councilor of Security against one, I assume. One assumes. Wow. The Councilor of Security abstains. Note this is first abstention from a vote by Councilor Mute in the ship's history. Very well. Just wow. The act passes 7 in favor with 1 abstention. And that's everything on the agenda. We'll convene after the presidential election. Council is now dismissed. Oh no. I've got to go. I'm sorry. I'll talk later. I'll talk later, Eun-a. I'm sorry. I'll talk later. Guys, I gotta go. So, thanks for watching, and see you next time.